5 o'clock, and I would like to call Newberry County Council work session 5 o'clock meeting to order. First item on the agenda, discussion related to ownership and paving of Goggins Court and Fawn Court.
I second that motion.
You second that motion, all right? I hear you. I think somebody's got a presentation. And just to remind you, you have about 10 minutes, and it should be on the screen just to keep up with your time.
Okay. Mr. Administrator and gentlemen of the council and attorney, my name is Vicki Sanders. I am one of the original board members of the South Point Harbor Subdivision HOA. Being in that role, I got to talk to a lot of people that were working on roads and things like that. I've given you all a folder, and if you look at document number 1, that just verifies that I was a member of the actual board that started. Secondly, I would like for you to look at document 3. Document 3 was an original letter from Scott Shirley to Mr. Ed Lomack. During that time, they were getting the property ready. All the property in that development went up for auction, and there wasn't a very good turnout, and so that auction was called and later just sold to individuals. But at that time, every person that bought a lot in South Point Harbor development was told that they had approval from the Newberry County Council to that the roads would be paved. And document number 3 is a letter from Scott Shirley, and it's showing that not only South Point Harbor development, but Somerset Bay and Windmill Landing. Also included in that wasn't in that original agreement, was that Water's Edge. All of our communities run together. And during that time, if you'll notice, and from my work experience, any time that I got an answer back from somebody, I always made a note on the letter that was originally sent. And there's a note on the bottom of that page where Scott Shirley said, roads accepted March the 12th, 1997 by county council vote. If you look at document 4, there's an additional document there that was written from Tommy Whitehead, who at that time had Mr. Luckadoo's title, and he was writing to Rob Caldwell. Rob Caldwell was the real estate agent for Scott Shirley that sold all the land in those properties. And if you will look on that page, it states that they had worked out an agreement. If you look at that letter, they worked out an agreement. Rock had initialed, yes, I'm in agreement, and Scott Shirley sent a check for $5,000 to pay the cost that Tommy Whitehead said was due. Well, Scott Shirley put the concrete culvert in that was mentioned, and why he had to put a concrete culvert in, I'm not really sure, because South Point Harbor is paved, and it's a metal culvert. But he told him he had to put a concrete culvert in, and that he had to pay $5,000 for the crush and run and stuff to bring it up to spec to approve that. Now, this was later, after what happened in 97, and I'm going to go back to that in a minute. And document 4, there's an email that was from Tommy Whitehead to Susan Fellers. On that email, Tommy Whitehead says, I feel that these 2 roads will have to be grandfathered into the county road maintenance upon them meeting the final inspection. And that is in documentation. That's document number 7. I'm sorry, document number 7. Then, all of that has transpired during these years that Jerry Reno has done a lot of this legwork that's here tonight, and that he's going to speak after me. A lot of this work has been dug up to where he had Freedom of Information Acts and things like that, and there's no record of a meeting on March 12th anymore. They're not in the files, and things of that nature. So we're going to, that's the history. We're not here to talk about the history tonight. We really need you guys' help. I don't live on Fawn Court, nor do I live on Goggins Court or Drive. I live on South Point Harbor Drive. My road was paved. When I was acting as an HOA person, I had a lot of contact with Jim Liptak, who was in office at that time doing the job of Mr. Luckadoo here. And if you look at number 2 that I sent to Jeff Shacker, it kind of explains all that history that happened at the very beginning. The other things that I've shared with you, that's happened all since then. It shouldn't have happened because back when we bought the property, it was approved at that time. The county was putting crush and run because I was calling them. They were paving, they were crush and run Pineland Drive or Pineland Road. They were crush and running South Point Harbor Drive, and they were crush and run Phone Court, and they were crush and running Goggins Court and Drive. So up until 2002 is where I kind of come into play of giving some history of what actually happened during that time. At that time, they were considered county roads. But if you look at the document that I sent to Mr. Shacker, we had 2 neighbors that lived on those 2 streets that were, one of them was Les Spry, and he was one of those type of people that you were going to do what you wanted him to do right then, no delays, no nothing. But as in the documentation that I gave you, there was reasons that the road could not be done right away. We had to get approval, first of all, from Georgia Pacific. They owned one side of Pineland Road. The other side, if I'm not mistaken, was Wachovia Bank. And they were going to make our road like Highway 39. Well, that did not happen because they could not get that right away. So Jeff told me, he says, I'm going to make you a nice road. It's just not going to be as nice as Highway 39. So after that, Les Spry, we would be standing and talking to Jim Liptak. We would be standing in the road talking to him, and Les Spry would come up and just cuss him out. Jim Liptak, I'm sorry, you can tell I'm a little bit nervous. Jim Liptak told me, he said it would be a cold day in hell before those 2 roads would be paved because of those 2 members that I've documented in that. That's the reason that those roads were never paved. And it's become a big hoopla, and these guys have really tried to get their roads paved, and I failed them because at that time, we lost 3 parents within 18 months, and I kind of got tired of fighting the battle for the simple reason that we had our road paved, and if they wanted the stirrup trouble, and they was the reason they didn't get it. And I begged Jim to please pave those roads so our community would be complete. Out of those 4 developments that's all linked together, there's 2 short roads that are cul-de-sacs that are still gravel roads. And so I'm not here to say, trying to point fingers or we're just trying to get some help. We really are trying to get some help and correct something that really needs to be correct. There's no way that a developer would have come in and had 4 different developments and had all the roads paved but 2 if there wasn't some good reason. So I'm appealing to your logical thinking and begging for your help for this community because we have neighbors on that road that, like us, when our road was not paved, you go in with a clean car, you come out with a dusty car. Jerry, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I thank you for your time. I appreciate you giving us an audience.
Thank you.
I've got 2 minutes and 6 seconds. I've got one thing to say is I wanted to come in here with a golden ticket. The minutes of a meeting in 2002 that said Goggins and Fawn Court were going to be paved. Unfortunately, when we came up for the Freedom of Information, we didn't find that golden ticket. There was nothing in the 2002 that said anything about our road. In fact is, when we looked up for the list of roads to be paved for that year, they weren't in there. We found some for 2003 and just about every other year. So we don't have anything saying that we had a road taken in. Like she said, 2016, I think it was Wayne Adams at the time, he brought 18 loads of crush and run. So we must have been still under your venue because we didn't order it. It just happened to show up one morning. So, you know, it seems like we're part of the road system, but we're not part of the road system. That's it in a nutshell.
Thank you, Mr. Reno.
Do y'all have any questions for us?
I do, if I can jump in there, because was it you that I met out there?
Yes, sir.
I thought it was.
Why?
Where we met, there was a road that came in and it came into a T. What are those two road names?
That's
So that
Goggins Drive and Goggins Court. They originally wanted to call it, and I don't know why, Googans, or Googans, like the movie that it was. And there
Okay.
was some name problems. But I think the name problems came under the post office's venue, which is 911, and they can't mix names because they're somewhere else, you know. And there is a Goggins School Road, and that's an issue too. There is no other road. It's a straight shot into ours little cul-de-sac. There's 1,900 linear feet with our road and Fawn Court. I've measured it, and I went and got some estimates to see if we could pave it. Well, right now you can't because paving's kind of high.
But that's what we're talking about and
Yes.
I remember,
Fawn Court is the one just before you go over the
Yes, sir.
bridge.
yeah, okay.
And
I got
Jerry
you.
actually has a map that shows where he printed off of online for Newberry County that shows those two roads as being paved. He's got the legend and everything. You will find it in your folder.
We ran out of time, but it,
Could you go to the mic?
okay. It's the map, the county map, you know it because you work there, that goes from one place, which is the county, to SCDOT, to place online which ones are paved, which ones are not paved. And our road shows that we're paved, but we're not. So, and I've got a copy of the map if you want to see it. but-
It's in their folder.
Okay, I just want to make
Yes,
sure that
that is,
I
and
had
the
the
legend
right
is
one in mind.
attached to the back.
What page that on?
Document 6.
It's showing being paid?
Yes, sir.
Let me see if I
How
can.
the legend matches up, it indicates it's paid. This one right here.
And as I mentioned, in document 7, it was actually a letter from the director of Public Works. He was stating that those roads, and when it got to that point, as I said, the history that I gave you, all of that should have been taken care of. This should not even come into play. But in this document of the email from Tommy Whitehead, who was the director of Public Works, said that those roads should have been grandfathered in. And
Has this recently or any time been to the Transportation Commission?
CTC.
So,
Yeah.
can I address this real
They
quick?
won't
Yes.
accept it.
So,
They won't
yes,
do it unless we-
it's my understanding y'all have gone before the CTC in the past.
No.
no,
Somebody,
We didn't get that far.
well-
In one meeting with me and Mr. Shacker, it was, we didn't talk anymore in session. He asked to speak to me after the session, and that's where we came in. But there were some issues there, and we never did make it to the CTC.
well, my understanding was that it was unclear whether Newberry County technically owned the road, and the CTC is not going to take up action without having full verification that Newberry County owns the road, and so that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you in reaching out to Representative Joe White, he says that there should be money in the CTC to fund those roads. He says he knows that there's not money there for the Newberry County to fund them, but the CTC should have money to fund those roads. And we're begging. We're begging. After 20 years, it's become a cry for these, that I get a phone call every so often after so many years of, can you please help us with the roads, that I've gotten back involved with that. Any other questions for me?
Any other
No,
questions?
I don't have anything else.
I think that's all.
Could we ask, kind of forward thinking, what do you think our chances are of getting our road paved?
Without some discussion,
Well, and that's why we didn't put an action item down for this evening. It was to get the information from
Right.
you guys, allow them to
Okay.
Yeah, that's
to
perfect.
read through this, because obviously they're not going
It's
to
a
be able to
lot.
read through all of this right here, right now, but to read through this, and then if they have any questions for staff, and there's anything we need to look up, try and get, or if we need to follow up with you to ask any further questions, but do plan to bring it back for council to have further
This is the
discussion.
first time we saw some of this information, so let's digest it.
Is it
And
true that you're gonna recommend that they vote in the next council meeting?
That's what I have been proposing,
That's the intent.
is
That's the intent.
next meeting to bring it back for a
I didn't
vote.
get any time, but I would like to leave this with Andrew, and he can make copies and give it to you with my documentation. Some of it's duplication, but there's also some bullet points that I want to make, that I want you folks to know. And Andrew can just make copies of that, and circulate it to you folks later.
any information we can get is great. I appreciate y'all coming out and giving us your explanation.
Thank you.
All right. No other questions?
No.
All right. Next item is an executive session. Part A, discussion of contractual matters relating to Mid Carolina Commerce Park Phase 3B expansion. And discussion regarding the expansion of Mid Carolina Commerce Park Phase 3B. Do I have a motion to go into executive session? Motion by Councilman Fulmer, second by Councilman Reeder. Any discussion? All in favor? It is unanimous. We will be in executive session in approximately 5 minutes. There he is. Nope. And we'll call him.
Oh, yeah, you was gonna call. I know you was gonna call. Gotcha.
Test. Can you hear me?
And reason, do I have a motion that we come out of executive session? Motion got a second by Councilman Reader. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
We are adjourned out of executive session. All right, item number 4, discussion regarding the expansion of Mid Carolina Commerce Park Phase 3B.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of council. For the record, I'm Rick Farmer. I'm the Director of Newberry County Economic Development. What you see before you is the Master Development Plan for Mid Carolina Commerce Park. As you folks know, about 3-4 years ago, we first got across the creek to on the west side of the property. We ended up having to cut that project in half because of budget runs. The road was supposed to go all the way to back where the green is, near site number 7. We cut that project in half, which of course is why we're coming back now. So we got that road built a few years ago. This past year, we added water and sewer to that. So the next step is, of course, the step that really makes us shovel ready and showing ready sites. This project would entail paving the red section that is highlighted on that image. It's about 1,500 linear feet or something like that. It's not a particularly long passage, but it's critical because right now I don't even actually have a road to get back. Now, there is a dirt road, but it doesn't follow the planned and permitted road. So right now, all I could do was get a prospect back there and show a bunch of trees and hills off of a dirt road. What this would do, especially if we include the second portion of this project, which is a pad, it would make us shovel ready for, honestly, the first time since I've been here. So what this project would do, the overall cost is about $4.25 million. We would add that red section would be new asphalt that follows the new water and sewer we just installed, and we would install a 300,000 square foot pad on lot number 6. I consider lot number 6 to be one of the best lots on the backside of the property, and we chose that one specifically because it could expand both north and south if it needed to. So if we had a larger project and we ended up combining lots 6 and 7, we would have the option to do that. So we need to build that road. We need to fix that pad so that we can truly be shovel ready and compete for projects in the near future.
And what I would add to it is you've heard us report on the $3 million enhancement
Yes.
grant that we've received. That is for this expansion of the road in red and the pad and everything that he just described. So really that leaves us at about $1.25 million that Newberry County is responsible for. With that said, in talking with the engineering firm, really all the engineering and design has already been tackled, but that is showing on these projected cost estimates. So that's about $250,000 that can be taken off of what Newberry County's responsibility would be. So that leaves about $1 million that we're responsible for. Don't need an official vote of any kind tonight, but really would like to pitch our idea on the $1 million in funding and how to pull that together to make this project happen in full and not have to cut it back. Currently, we have $622,571 that is in an LGIP interest-bearing account that is for Mid-Carolina Commerce Park. Those funds are there. Additionally, we have $212,658 in a holding account specifically earmarked for economic development, that's in a separate holding account, interest-bearing account. That leaves about $165,000 remaining that would be needed to get to our $1 million towards this project. We have a number of Rural Infrastructure Authority reimbursements coming back from a grant that we just had, much more than $165,000. But what we would like to do is to combine the 212 with the 622,000 in an account, and then take 165,000 of the reimbursement funds that we have coming back and tie that in with those to get to that mark that we need to be at. And the rest of the money would go back into the general ordinary bank account or funds. And that would put us where we're at. But I think I would also note that these are projected cost estimates. And in talking with the engineers, they believe they're on the high side. If this were to go out to bid, we get the bids, get those back, it'd probably come in less than the $4.25 million or the $4 million is their hope and our hope, and they do believe they're on the high side. And so we may not even have to utilize, but go ahead and have those funds set aside, and if we can release some of those funds because the bids come in under the projections, then that's just money we could put back in to the general ordinary fund. And not a vote. We don't need to come to you guys for an official vote of any kind until we bid this project, know what the exact costs are, and can make an exact request. But we would like to go ahead and get the funds allocated together in a separate account so that they are there and we know they're there for this project.
I would like to say, I want to thank the council for seeing this project through to completion. The money that we got was $3 million, and it was extraordinary. Normally, the Locate SC Fund, they tell you the maximum ask is $300,000. I always ask for twice of that, and I've sometimes been successful at getting it. But this time was different. This is a special one-time allocation of $80 million from the state. And we got 3 of that $80 million here in Newberry County. So I'm really proud of that. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So thank you for seeing this through.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any questions? Thank you. All right, item number 5, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Vice Chair. Second by Councilman Fulmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
We are adjourned from the work session. And we'll reconvene in about 14. All right, it is 6 o'clock, and I'd like to call the regular council meeting to order with the invocation and pledge by Leon Fulmer, council member.
Yes, sir. Join me. Our Heavenly Father, we come before you with humble and grateful hearts, seeking your presence, your guidance, and your peace over our communities of this great county of Newberry. Lord, we lift up the men and women of our armed forces, wherever they may be serving. Surround them with your protection. Grant them courage in times of danger, strength in moments of weariness, and peace in the midst of uncertainty. Watch over their families and remind them they're never alone as they fight for the freedoms we all hold dear. We ask your blessings over the graduates and the students of Newberry County. Guide their paths with wisdom and purpose. Give them clarity as they step into the new seasons of their life, and help them grow in knowledge, character, and faith in you. May they be the lights in the world and use their gifts for the good to all. Father, we pray for all the citizens in Newberry who are struggling and grieving. You are the God of comfort. Draw near to those who are hurting. Bring healing where there is pain, hope where there is despair, and strength to those who are weak. Let them feel your presence and your unfailing love. We lift up our county employees and volunteers. Bless them for their service, their dedication, and their sacrifice. Protect them for the work that they do. Encourage them in their efforts and pour out your blessings upon their families. Lord, we ask for wisdom and discernment for these county council members. Guide them in their decisions so that they may serve in integrity and fairness and compassion. Help them to seek what is right and beneficial for the citizens of the county and to lead with humility and unity. May your peace rest upon our county. May your love bind us together. And may all that we do honor you in your glory. For these and whatever else you see that we may need, we humbly ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. We have quite the crowd tonight. As most of you can see, the third reading for the data center ordinance is not on the agenda for tonight. We have postponed that third reading until further notice, until after our public information session, which is May the 18th from 6 to 7:30 at the Opera House. We do have some panelists to go over some stuff about data centers that know a little bit more about it than most of us do. So hopefully that will give us some information that all of us need. So that's that. Third item on the agenda, adoption of minutes. We'll take both A and B as one. If we hear no objection. Item A, Newberry County Council Work Session Minutes, April 15th, 2026. Item B, Newberry County Council Minutes, April 15th, 2026. Do I have a motion to adopt it as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Vice Chair, second by Councilman Fulmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Motion by Johnny Mack, second by Mr. Reader. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous. All right, item number 5, proclamations and resolutions. A, proclamation recognizing National Small Business Week in Newberry County. And I will read the proclamation. Whereas small businesses are the backbone of America's economy and play a vital role in the economic vitality of Newberry County. And whereas small businesses generate employment opportunities, foster entrepreneurship and innovation, and contribute significantly to local tax bases and community development. And whereas the diverse array of small businesses in Newberry County, ranging from family-owned enterprises and farms to service providers and emerging entrepreneurs, enhances the quality of life for residents and strengthens the county's sense of place. And whereas beyond their economic impact, small businesses in Newberry County play a critical role in supporting and enriching the community through sponsorships of youth and adult recreation teams, school programs, civic events, charitable initiatives, and other activities that promote community well-being and connection. And whereas the dedication, determination, and resilience demonstrated by small business owners, particularly during times of economic challenge and change, reflect a deep commitment not only to their customers, but also to the communities they serve. And whereas National Small Business Week, recognized annually across the United States, provides an opportunity to acknowledge the contributions of small businesses and to encourage continued support for policies and programs that promote their growth, sustainability, and success. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that Newberry County Council hereby declare May 3rd through 9th, 2026 as National Small Business Week in Newberry County, and encourages all citizens to recognize and support the contributions of small businesses to our local economy and community. Proclaimed and approved this 6th day of May 2026. Do I have a motion to accept the proclamation? Yes. Motion by Councilman Reeder, second by Councilman Fulmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous.
Michelle.
Do I have someone here to accept small business?
And if I could have two other folks.
We would also like to mention that we have Mr. Glenn Ham here with Ham Hardware, who has been in business for 100 years. Thank you. Thank you. And you're very kind. We certainly appreciate you.
Come in. If I may have just one moment.
Absolutely.
I wanted to invite here today, I'm Michelle Long with the Newberry County Chamber of Commerce and Visitor Center, and I wanted to invite Lori Graham with the Small Business Development Center. Lots of programs out there for small businesses throughout the state, but especially invite Glenn Ham, who is third generation, fourth generation. You don't reach 100 years in a small business every day. So one of the backbones of prosperity and Newberry County, and everything that Chairman Shealy read about in that proclamation, Ham Hardware fits that, from the support to the residents, the businesses, and the communities. And it's been that way for 100 years. And maybe a couple of 11-year-olds will one day want to take that on. That's right. So anyway, thank you and appreciate that.
Outstanding. We have a lot of local small businesses, and Ham Hardware being one of the standouts for sure. All right. Now we have a resolution. I will read the resolution recognizing the Newberry County Sheriff's Office, law enforcement officers, telecommunicators, correctional officers, and employees. Whereas the Newberry County Sheriff's Office serves a vital role in protecting the lives, property, and rights of the citizens of Newberry County. And whereas law enforcement officers of Newberry County Sheriff's Office are sworn to uphold the law and protect the community, often facing dangerous and unpredictable situations while demonstrating courage, professionalism, and unwavering commitment to public safety. And whereas correctional officers and employees of Newberry County Detention Center perform the essential and often challenging duties of maintaining safe, secure, and humane custody of incarcerated individuals, frequently working in difficult and demanding conditions. And whereas Public Safety Telecommunicators of Newberry County 911 Communications Center serve as the critical first point of contact during emergencies, providing calm, professional, and life-saving communication to citizens and first responders alike. And whereas the effectiveness and safety of emergency response operations depend heavily on coordination, professionalism, and dedication of these telecommunicators. And whereas these professionals collectively provide essential public safety services, often without recognition while working long hours under stressful and sometimes dangerous conditions. And whereas Newberry County Council desires to recognize and express its sincere appreciation to Sheriff Lee Foster and all members of the Newberry County Sheriff's Office, including law enforcement officers, telecommunicators, correctional officers, and employees, for their unwavering commitment, service, and sacrifices to the citizens of Newberry County. Now, therefore, it be resolved that Newberry County Council hereby recognizes and honors the Newberry County Sheriff's Office, law enforcement officers, telecommunicators, correctional officers, and employees for their outstanding service, dedication, and contributions to public safety in Newberry County. And be it furthermore resolved that Newberry County Council recognizes April 12th through the 18th, 2026 as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, May 3rd through 9th, 2026 as National Correctional Officers and Employees Week, May 10th through 16th, 2026 as National Police Week, and May 15th, 2026 as Peace Officers Memorial Day, and encourages all citizens to acknowledge and express their gratitude for the vital role these individuals play in maintaining the safety and well-being of our community. Adopted by the Newberry County Council in a meeting duly assembled on the 6th day of May 2026, at which a quorum was present and voting. Do I have a motion that we accept? Motion by Vice Chair, second by everybody. Councilman Fulmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes,
It is
gladly,
absolutely
yes.
unanimous. Sheriff Foster.
With your permission, I'd like
And your team.
Women's Service to accept that resolution.
Absolutely, absolutely. Please do.
I have to have some people on the knee in the front for this one. Might have to go to the back for this one, Andrew.
How you doing, sir?
Doing all right? Doing good.
Get you to move for just a picture, please.
Thank you, Senator. Okay, 3. I'm not getting back on the chair, so. Yes, she's. Okay. Move forward.
Be good, sir.
We should have saved that to the end.
Perfect. Look at that, perfect.
Yep.
All right, where am I at? Let's see.
Item 6.
All right. That was quite an honor to have all our law enforcement here. They certainly are a big part of this community, for sure. Item number 6, Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, council, citizens that have attended tonight. We are moving forward with the implementation of a new online tax estimator that will be on the county website underneath the auditor and assessor's office. This estimator will allow citizens to go on and project new vehicle taxes if they are looking to buy a new vehicle, see what claiming high mileage, if someone thinks they may have high mileage, what impact that may have on their vehicle tax bill. And it will allow people who are looking to either relocate, buy a new home within Newberry County, or maybe they're looking to move here and they want to understand what the taxes would be on a house if they were to buy it. They'll be able to go in and plug in the dollar value of that home, what percentage, obviously 4% for legal residency, 6% if it's not, and give a determination of what that tax would be for that property. Are looking to have this implemented within the next couple of weeks, and we will certainly put that out once that goes live. But we feel like that'll be a useful tool for people moving forward. As most have probably seen or heard at this point, we are having a community information session related to data centers, calling it Data Center 101, on May 18th at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Newberry Opera House. We do have two great panelists lined up that both specialize in data centers and utility financial impacts related to data centers. We believe that these two panelists will provide great expertise and insight on data centers and be able to address the concerns that have been expressed at this point. We have received several questions already from the QR code on the flyer and from the link that is on the county website. People will also have the ability to write and submit questions on the night of the information session that will be asked by the moderator, who is Mr. Jimmy Coggins. We held a pre-bid meeting at the Newberry County Airport last Tuesday, April 28th, for the taxiway rehabilitation project. We had 3 contractors attend that meeting. The projected cost is a little over $2.4 million, which the county only has an obligation of approximately $57,000 due to FAA and state funding. Bid opening for that project is on May 21st. We will be opening bids for the new public safety complex, the number 1 CPST item. We'll be opening bids for that project next Wednesday at 3 o'clock p.m. Thank you.
Very good. A lot of good work going on. Item number 7, chairman's comments. Good work, staff. Always doing a great job, keeping everybody informed, making good progress with the projects, which I'm glad to see. As everyone is concerned about the data center ordinance, I'm concerned about it as well. So I plan on being at the Opera House myself, because I need to educate myself as much as I can on how these would affect our community, because my family lives here too. So I want to do what's best for all of us. All right, item number 8, public hearing. Item A, ordinance number 0401-2026, providing appropriations for the fiscal year 2026-27 budget. Mr. Tyler Johnson.
My name's Tyler Johnson, 693 Henderson Court, Newberry, South Carolina. This past December, when we voted in development fees, it was discussed then that come budget time, they would be readdressed because they have to be part of the fee schedule. I was just bringing that up because in the budget work sessions and so far through first reading, they hadn't been brought up. And I just wanted to make sure that it didn't slip through the crack and just bring it up as a reminder tonight, and that's it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, can I Can I say something real
Yes, sir.
quick? Appreciate that, Mr. Johnson. That was actually brought to our attention. And we're going to get those in prior to third and final reading, but also with third reading tonight on the building permit fee penalty. We would also, if that passes tonight, we will also have to get that put into the ordinance as well. So,
Very good. All right, no one else has signed up for public hearings, so we will close public hearings. Item number 9, public comments regarding items on the agenda. Please, Mr. Steve McKean.
Just to clarify, are you taking any comments on Project Alt?
We would prefer not to, but I'm not gonna tell you you can't.
Okay.
We do ask you to limit it to 3 minutes.
Sure. That I can do. Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Stephen McKean, and I'm a 34-year resident of this District 3, and I reside at 832 Pettis Lane. I'm also a former Newberry County Planning Commissioner. Tonight, I speak to you as a reminder that Newberry County was established in 1785, and it was a flourishing farm community. At the end of World War I in 1918, Newberry County earned the title of the egg and milk capital of South Carolina. And I personally remember the old signs that used to be at the county limits when you came in. They have since been removed at this time. And I understand that the actual landscape of our agriculture has changed a little bit, but we still provide in this county. Let me make sure I get this right here. We still provide in the county the resources that make agriculture possible. I mean, in current day, the agricultural landscape adjusts. And of course, we're looking at the basics of our livestock. We're looking at the basics of our, excuse me, I'm awfully sorry. I apologize. And we also want to take a look at the protection of our water rights for the citizens and, of course, for our farming community. Farming community has been really big here in Newberry County, South Carolina. It's carried this county for a long time. When other industries failed, when other industries have left this place, the farming community has continued on, and it supports us. We have businesses here that are supported by that farming community. I think the biggest one that I can think of off the top of my head would be Kraft, which is, of course, Lewis Rich, or you might know it by the turkey plant, or some people call it Oscar Mayer. So whatever you refer to it is, of course, one of the biggest companies that we have that supports our agriculture. Now, there are other things that go on as well, too. But water rights are very important right now. We're looking at a simple fact that Newberry County Water and Sewer Authority has about 5,000 customers on the book. Newberry City has a little less than 10,000 customers on the book, and Whitmire Public Works produces about for 1,000 customers, okay? After that, the remaining residents, which is somewhere around 24,000 if you take the last census issue on it, are all working off of well water, and that includes, of course, our farming community and any of the agricultural and different businesses who don't have the opportunity to get on well water. So when we start talking about Project Alt Air, one of the biggest things that we're going to need to talk about is where is the water coming from? And who hurts the worst when we take it away from them, okay? I'm over just by a couple seconds, but I do want to remind everybody here that farmland, once it's stripped for development, can never be farmland again, all right? And water, once it's taken away for a data center, is a gallon of water or more that doesn't support livestock, irrigating crops, and supplies agriculture in the cities of this county. So I want to make sure that when you enter into an agreement with the data center, that we've covered the basics. I'm not here to beat you all up. I'm here to say, do we have the basics covered? Are we going to be able to do this and seriously do this, okay? After that, like I said, I'm not gonna beat everybody up. I just wanna make sure that we have honestly taken a look at everything that goes through. There's a big difference between a 60 megahertz data center and one that is a 60 gigahertz. There is a huge difference between those two, and I do not think that we have anything that tells this county which one is coming.
We appreciate your comments, and that's definitely why we're having this upcoming session and some more investigation. We're
Thank
all
you.
looking into it.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
If we didn't sign up, it was me. There's a couple of us that didn't sign up. I got here a little late.
Is it about the data center project?
A little bit, but not much. It's more about percentages of, you know, the community, and it touches on it, but it's not near any depth. It is.
We'll get with you just a second. Mr. Jamie Johnson is signed up.
That's fine.
Mr. Chairman, council members, I'm Jamie Johnson. I live at 6218 Mount Bethel Garmany Road, and I'm a farmer. I'll go along with what Steve had to say about the water usage and everything in the county, but that's not what I'm here to talk about tonight. What I'm here to talk about is this proposed meeting we're having on May 18th, this information meeting. I happened to be at a meeting on Saturday that Mr. Shealy, you were at, Stuart Smith was at, and Mr. Cease, you were at, and also Ted Luckadoo was at. And I had a number of questions for Ted about this proposed meeting. Now, we have a panel, I'm supposing, that's what you presented, that's going to be there to answer questions, or not necessarily answer questions, but make comments about this new data center. Well, those two people, Christopher Lloyd being one and Cole Price being the other, is that correct, Mr. Luckadoo?
Yes, sir.
Well, Christopher Lloyd is an economic development consultant, and Mr. Price is Executive Vice President of Member Services for a utility service that actually sells service to the Newberry Co-op. They're both pro data centers because they're selling power. That's their business, to sell power and to sell the data centers and things that use this power. But that's not necessarily a group of people that we want commenting only on this thing. And I addressed that to you, Mr. Luckadoo, about were there going to be anyone on that panel before I knew who was going to be on it that was going to have the con side of the data center. And you said, no, we do not want anyone that's against the data center on the panel. Now, that's your comment directly, sir. That's not my words about your comment. Also, I asked about this meeting that we're supposedly having, and you were going to submit written questions to a mediator who's going to select from those questions what to ask the panel. But if you're giving information at this meeting, you need to be giving us pro and con information, not just what you want to give us in order to sell this data center. We need to know what the downside of a data center is. It's your responsibility in this meeting to let that be known to the members of this community. And your comment at the end, Mr. Luckadoo, and I hate to throw you under the bus like this, but was that if y'all didn't convince everybody after that meeting, there wasn't anything you could do to convince them. Well, that tells me that all y'all are interested in is convincing the people of this county to go with the data center. You're not interested in presenting both sides of the story. That's my comment. I think we should be presenting both sides to the county and the constituents and not just one side. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Mr. Stuck.
Yeah.
If you would just,
Yeah, I'm good.
I need you to sign this piece of paper before you leave.
I will. Charlie Stuck, 4361 South Carolina Highway 34, Pomeroy, South Carolina, 29126. Talking to people in the community, and looking at statistics, 75% of people have a difficult time coming in public and speaking, and most people don't like it, you know. So as we talk in the community, there's a lot of people that are against certain things, but they have a hard time standing up here. So I'm just kind of, letting y'all know the voice of the people, not just necessarily for the data center, but anything big that comes to the county. I think it's very, very important. I know it's broadcast. I know people have the ability to look it up or come to this meeting, but life happens and people don't show up. So I just want to bring the point, 75% of the people that would want to speak are scared to speak in public. Right now, as it stands today in the United States, 47% of the people in the United States are against building new data centers. So that's pretty high. 38% are for them, with a 23% difference. So there's 23% more people against them United States wide than are for them. So I think the meeting's going to be important. I have the same concerns that Mr. Johnson has of we need to see the cons, not just the pros, so we can get an objective here versus, because I'm for things being for the betterment of the community, but I really don't see this helping Newberry County at this moment and at this point. And a lot of people in the areas that we live in feel the same way. In the past, 87% of the data centers were in urban areas. And moving forward, 67% are being pushed into the rural areas, and a lot of it because of water sources and or noise, or if you put it in a business park, people don't hear the noise and they're not worried about it. But it's more than noise. It's community concerns, and people are concerned, what's the need for the big push of data centers? And why does Newberry need one? If it doesn't directly help us and it comes to them paying taxes, then the next thing comes in, are we giving tax credits? That's the next thing that comes down the line. So I'm here to speak for the people. 75% are scared to stand in public. A lot of people won't get up here and speak. So I think it's important that a majority of the people in Newberry County that I've spoken to are not for the data center. But I'm not, saying here for or against, but we definitely need both sides to be objective versus the people that I think we have coming, not saying they're not qualified to speak on it, but it'd be important to have some cons too. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Charlie. That's all we have.
You guys come forward, didn't sign up, want to speak.
Yeah, doors.
How many more are we talking about?
At least 2 more.
Okay. If you would, just please sign the sheet.
Hi, yes, I'm Julia Pinckney. I live at 2309 Main Street here in Newberry. Going to echo what we've heard from the prior 2 gentlemen regarding the meeting for May 18. My recommendation, being a citizen here in Newberry, would be if we could have an environmental element included in that. What happens to the water? What happens to the electricity? How are we going to not only consume that, but how will it be distributed afterwards? Of particular interest will be water. And what does that look like? Oftentimes these centers are centered around an evaporation evaporation mechanism, but oftentimes it's explained as a closed loop system, which that's not entirely the case. And without going into too much more detail, I also am interested in the economic impact to our town when we consider whether there'll be tax advantages or tax breaks, as well as how many people are employed by the system down the road. Understanding construction brings a benefit to many folks within the town. However, what happens when they leave? I will leave you with my predominating concern being the utilization of water and who will pay for such water. Where will we get such water? What portion of that burden be sent over to our other residents here in the city and the county, and especially electricity. Our electric bills tend to be high. We all lived here in January of this year, and I only shudder to think that if the infrastructure isn't here today, who's going to build the infrastructure? Who's going to pay for the infrastructure? And how much of that burden can we put back on an AI center before they leave us? And I think that would be very telling. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Gertie Lake.
To make mine short, I'm going to kind of read through it. Good evening, Chairman Shealy and council members. I'm here tonight because I care deeply about Newberry County, our farms, our wells, our quiet roads, and the rural character that defines who we are. I want to speak plainly. A significant number of your Newberry constituencies believe a data center has no place in our community. Across South Carolina, we're seeing many of the same stories repeat itself. Utility companies, there have been hearings that have been going on in the Senate and in the House that you can pull up and listen to yourself, where there are utility companies that have told senators just weeks ago that many data center proposals are just speculative, that developers often drop out, that communities are left dealing with consequences of projects that were pushed forward and before the public ever knew they existed. Some of them are, not getting completed. So, I mean, if that happens, who ends up footing the bill for that? In several counties, Spartanburg, Caldwell, York, residents right now, things are ongoing where they've only recently learned about these projects after land was purchased, studies were done, and NDAs were signed. That's not transparency. These facilities also place enormous strain on our local resources. In that Senate hearing that I listened to, the senators were told if all anticipated projects were built in South Carolina, data center power demand could reach as much as 5,000 megawatts statewide, requiring new generation and major grid upgrades. Utilities say they try to make large users pay for their own infrastructure. Sometimes that works, sometimes that hasn't worked. Lawmakers still want to, they're working on now, which I'm sure many of you know if you follow the bills, on a bill that would provide protection that would be written into the law just for the fact so that when things do go wrong, that families, farmers, and small businesses are not left footing the bill. Water use is just as concerning. In other counties, residents had to file lawsuits just to learn how much data centers were using. That lack of transparency is a warning sign. When a project is good for the community, it doesn't hide its numbers. And let's be honest about the process here at home. The community meeting scheduled for May 18th is not an independent study. It's not a neutral assessment. It's simply the next step in a process that's already moved too far without the public's full knowledge or involvement. So tonight, I'm asking council respectfully that as you're looking at this, please don't sign any NDAs because that limits what the public can know. Don't risk our water supply or our power grid for a project that brings few permanent jobs. Don't risk our water supply or don't risk our Newberry County to be shaped by outside corporations whose interests don't align with ours. Newberry County it's small, it's rural, it's farming, and that's the reason that a lot of people live here. That's the reason people are leaving Columbia to try to get here. And I know we're growing and we're going to have to figure out some things, but I don't think the data center are the answer. We deserve development that strengthens our future without draining our resources or changing the character of the place that we call home. We deserve transparency from the very beginning, not after decisions are nearly made. So I'm asking you, please, as you go forward, make sure that you're looking at everything and protect Newberry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Lake. All right, that's all we have signed up. Item number 10, old business. Item A, third reading, ordinance number 03022026, a text amendment of section 153-073 to the zoning ordinance, chapter 153, which will allow for outdoor retail sales. This is the third reading. Do I have a motion to speak third reading? Motion by Councilman Reeder. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Scurry. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous. Item B, third reading, ordinance number 03-03-2026, a text amendment, section 151.04 to the zoning ordinance, chapter 153, establishing a penalty to building permit fees. This is the third reading. Have a motion, Vice Chair. Second by Councilman Fulmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous. Item C, third reading on ordinance number 03-04-2026, rezoning property located at Folk Road and Calvary Church Road, Newberry, consisting of 8.34 acres from LC Limited Commercial to R2 Rural. It's at TMS 335-24. Have a motion, this be third reading. Motion by Councilman Reader. Second. Second by Vice Chair. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous. Item D, third reading on ordinance 03-05-2026, rezoning property located at the corner of Leonardfield Road and US Highway 76 Little Mountain, consisting of 3.04 acres from RS Single Family Residential to R2 Rural. And that's TMS 640-83. Do I have a motion? This be third reading. Motion by Vice Chair. A second. Second by Councilman Fulmer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
It is unanimous. Item E, second reading, ordinance 04-01-2026, providing appropriations for the fiscal year 2026-27 budget. I have a motion, this be second reading. Motion by Councilman Reader. Second by Councilman Scurry. Any discussion? All in favor?
All in favor. Yes.
It is unanimous. Item number 11, new business. Lucky do, you got any new business?
I'm good.
You good? All right. Item 12, possible action taken by council in executive session, no action was taken. Item 13, do we have any appointments? All right, hearing none. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Fulmer, second by Councilman Scurry. Any discussion? All in favor?
I am in agreement, yes.
We are adjourned.